Call us and join in on the conversation at 870-302-3034.
Back and around the table, Coleman Taylor and Jim Johnson with you, and special guest in the studio is now Dr. Stewart Pratt, Superintendent of Harrison Schools. Dr. Pratt, how are you today?
Good, Coleman. Good to see you. And Jim, hey, I've got Jim Johnson instead of Lisa Johnson.
Man, we took a downgrade, but
we apologize for that. But yeah,
Coleman in his contract has to have a Johnson in studio, so I stepped right in.
There you go. Yeah. Good to see you, Jim.
You too.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the school district right now. You guys are in school, which is an accomplishment these days to be there. No major issues COVID-wise?
No, it's we're glad to be in school. You're right about that, but no, we've had an uptick since Christmas. We're experiencing pretty good quarantine amounts right now. And so we're just going to really hang to be the safest options we can in school, keep cleaning and disinfecting and working on distancing and wearing masks. So really appreciate parents and community staying with us.
What about, vaccine is out there available for education workers now?
Yeah, we're super excited. And just a big shout out to the hospital for I know they're the resource delivery mechanism, but the hospital, Vince Lee, Sammy Cribbs, and Josh Bright's been working with the pharmacies. I know that area schools are getting. We had half of our staff got them yesterday, Wednesday, and then the other half I'm scheduled for Friday. So I really appreciate them. They've done a great job of getting that out to our teachers and our educators.
That's fantastic. Yeah, well, that's great to get them out there. The first thing, they've got to be right on the front line of that, especially like you say, an uptick right now in cases. That's good to hear, getting them out there first.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's been tough for some people getting on the schedule these days, but I'm glad that was prioritized that.
We had a Zoom. Josh Bright led a Zoom from the hospital and working with area school nurses and our point of contacts, and they did a great job of that. But they're pushing hard. The hospital's pushing hard. The pharmacies are pushing hard to get to all of our teachers in our Boone County area, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Have you having a good percentage of the teachers that are stepping up and doing this?
It's about 50%. Now, what we 45, 50%. What we do is we've asked all of our teachers to go and talk to their primary care physician. Let's make sure there's not other medical issues that might interfere or any worries or risks. And if there were, they can go to their physician. I'm sure the physician can work it out. But we've had them talk to them. But we're about 50% right now, I think.
Have you had any that are any number of that you think are going to refuse the vaccine?
I don't know. I know that not everybody signed up. I don't know the reasons why. We don't ask that, but I'm sure some people are looking at it, trying to analyze it, and then you know what? The vaccine will still be there in another 2 weeks.
That's right.
They can go get their first shot and start again if they choose to.
And I think that's good that a lot of people, kind of like us, we all had COVID around here, and if we were in this phase, which we're not, I think it's not a bad idea. Kind of those that have a little bit of immunity to hold off for a little while. 'Cause like you said, you can get it later. Let some other people that haven't had it, that are at higher risk, be in there. So sure, that's a reason for some.
Yeah, we'll find out. We're going. Again, I'll get my shot on Friday, along with half the staff, the other half of the staff, and then we'll wait. I don't know which one we're doing, the 21 or the 28 day wait, but we'll cycle back around and get another shot, and I hope it makes a difference. I really do. I think it will.
I think so too. Well, that's fantastic here. Now, you had a school board meeting on Tuesday night.
Yeah,
tell us what some of the things came out of that.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff. Well, number one, January's School Board Appreciation Month, and I hope this community understands what a tremendous 7-member board we've had. It's not turned over in quite some time, but it's super strong, and they advocate for kids at every meeting, and we recognized them and celebrated them quite a bit, and a little bit of emotional piece there because we really care about them and what they've done for us. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about the meeting is we're now Facebook Live, and we're doing kind of what the city's doing.
Right.
We've got some equipment, and so people can watch live if they want to. But the main thing out of the meeting was the board appreciation, and then some talking about the COVID relief funds called ESSER 1 and ESSER 2. That's Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Act, and there's 1 and 2, and how that's going to help us out in the district.
What are some of the how much funding is that? What are some of the ways that's going to be implemented?
Yeah, ESSER 1 was a little over $500,000, and it's pretty restrictive. It's basically masks, disinfecting, those kind of things. It's just to meet food safety, in other words, food security, those kind of things. ESSER 2 is a little bit more flexible. It's the school district's going to receive about a little over $2 million, which is a healthy sum of money. But it's supporting those measures and trying to make sure people are safe. But it's looking at additional items such as air quality. It allows you to buy improved air filters, HVAC systems, things that help make sure that the virus doesn't interfere with the educational process. So we're looking forward to that. Money's not in hand yet, Coleman.
Right.
Can't spend the money yet. But the money's coming. It's been allocated to us. So we're really excited about that it'll take some pressure off the local funds, and we can pay for it out of federal funds. And that allows us to use local funds for things we need. Has
local funds at all been really tight this year because so far of what you've had to deal with?
They're not tight, but superintendent's been tight with them because
sure.
you just don't know what the future holds. And what I want to hold is make sure that we protect our staff, we protect our kids, and most importantly, we protect the longevity of this school district. So, yeah, as a superintendent, I'm going to hold back on funds and wait and see as we go into this COVID rampaged year. But now that the feds and the states stepped in a little bit, especially the feds, now I can relax a little bit, and we can talk about budget and release some of our local funds for things that our staff needs and our kids need.
What have you guys been watching with the new presidential administration and all coming in, and education and getting kids back in school in a lot of places? Big focus of that. Are there going to be any changes to the Harrison School District as far as funding or anything goes compared to what we had under the previous administration?
Well, I try to stay up on that. We're not sure just yet. We've got a new education leader in the nation, and so we'll be looking forward to communication soon to Arkansas Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and we'll find out what changes there are. But right now, I don't have any specifics.
Yeah. Okay.
But we think the Biden administration will make some changes for us in schools.
Okay. Well, we'll be keeping an eye out. Everybody's wondering what the changes are going to be here. We're day one, full day one. So
it looked like he signed quite a few things yesterday.
He had a busy half day yesterday.
But
as they usually do. Well, that's wonderful to hear. So there's good funding coming back to the school system. What else were you talking about at the board meeting?
Well, master planning, we're not looking at building any significant buildings or anything, but we do have to realize that our elementary buildings are 55 to 60 years old, and we have to, our board is going to evaporate. The superintendent, I'm going to leave someday, but there's going to be a new administration come in and a new board come in, and we want to hand them a set of plans or some master planning vision that's really strong. And let them know that we considered carefully of what's next. What do we do? Do we add on to these buildings? Do we refurbish these buildings? Do we look at rebuilding a building in 25 years? All those kind of things.
As far as those elementary schools go, 50, 60 years right now, how much longer do you think it's going to be before something really has to be done for them?
Well, I think if you start pushing 75 to 100-year-old buildings, I think you're in need of some significant changes. So. I'm not going to be here in 25 years. So, but my point is that I think our board is very concerned about the future. I think they're visionary. They're trying to find ways to leave a legacy to someone else to say, hey, they did think about it and they left us some items and some information, and so we can make good decisions from this point forward.
Right.
Yeah.
What about, there was a student that had an essay with Martin Luther King Day, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, her name is Addie Jones. What a great kid. She's a dynamite student. But Addie wrote an essay on Martin Luther King Day, and she ended up, that essay was judged, and she's 10th in the state on that. And we're so proud of her. She is, I think she's a junior, so I might be wrong here, but I think she's a junior. They grow up so fast, but I think she's a junior at the high school, but she's a great kid. And Addie's really good at speaking. She's a real advocate for reading. But we're super proud of her and representing us. But yeah, 10th in the Martin Luther King essay contest. That's pretty amazing.
It's good.
How about you, Jim? Would you have gotten 10th in a writing contest?
Is that writing with the W-R-I-T or R-I-D? Because I can ride around in a car, but no, definitely not. And I know Addie, her Marcus and Angela, her parents, just quality people, and she's a well-rounded young lady too. I know she runs like cross country and does a lot of things. So
and sings, writes, reads, speaks. Yeah,
some people get all the talent.
I know. Yeah, we're not going to make a point about Marcus or Angela here. We're not going to compare like we did with Jim and Lisa.
No.
But no, Addie, we're super proud of her, and our school is just, I've said it a million times in here, and I'll continue to be biased. We've got some great kids in our K-12 school, and just love being here. It's awesome.
One thing I was wanting to ask too, as we talked about before with the old junior high property being transferred to the city, has that deal completely closed yet, or we're still waiting to dot some I's?
Coleman, you've just got a knack for the great question. It was actually supposed to close today at 2:00.
Okay.
We're going to push it off about a week. We're waiting on the final piece of surveying. Surveyors haven't been able to get everything done yet.
Okay.
So as soon as it's finished being surveyed, then the title company will call us. But right now, as of yesterday, it should be pushed off till next Thursday or Friday about 2:00.
Well, that sounds like any other property closing. It's like you got a closing date here, and you get up there, and then somebody calls and says, "No, it's going to be a couple more weeks."
Yeah.
So I guess that's to be expected.
I tell you what, I mean, right now, land and property and house sales and things like that, I guess the title companies and the banks are just swamped. I mean, it's just hotcakes right now.
Well, Jim's in the middle of that.
Yeah,
right now,
we actually had a closing set for today that's pushed off to next week. So it's commonplace,
Yeah.
And we have someone here, I think, that put their house on the market in the morning and sold it in the afternoon.
Man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know boy, if you're looking for a house, it's tough right now.
Yeah.
It's really tough. But yeah, we're close to it. It's almost there, and we're excited. And I think what's really exciting about it is I know that the Camp Jack folks, the veterans group, they're already in the armory, and they're asking for keys, and they get in there, and they're just making plans. And I think there's some really good things coming down the road in that area.
I love what I'm hearing about and reading about with the Camp Jack program. That's going to benefit not veterans and kids and just the whole community. It's going to be able to be involved in that. That's gonna be great.
It's just good to see that we're going to transfer this building, and it's not going to be a lag of 5 years before something happens.
Right.
I mean, it's happening right now.
Yeah, that's great. There's going to be some big changes to that whole property, I think, throughout this year. Well, that's great too. So, what else? Anything else big we need to know about going on with the school district right now?
I think sports is going.
Yeah.
Jim's, you guys are covering us on some sports, and sports is going, but it got delayed a little bit. With COVID. Boys, I think's got 8 or 9 games in, and they should be about 18 right now. But they had some COVID setbacks and had to cancel some games, and people cancel on us too.
Yeah.
And so we're right in the middle of conference season and be heading into districts here pretty soon. But yeah, we'd love for everybody to come out and buy a ticket and come watch the games and be supportive. And
I know that one thing's been talked about with the athletic department is the fact they've been self-funded for decades now, and have kind of worried about going into this time, but so far they've been able to remain that way, right?
We're holding steady. Chris Pratt and the coaching staffs do a good job, but yeah, Chris Pratt leads that and does a great job with our AD. So yeah, we're hanging tight. It's good. I mean, I'm super proud of them.
Yeah.
Well, another thing about them, because I have traveled around broadcasting some of these games, and I can't say everybody does as good a job as we do. Some do, but Coach Pratt and his group of coaches for various sports do a great job on the safety concerns with COVID. I mean, we set trends with the way the football team was on the sidelines. I remember the very first game of the year we played at Little Rock Christian. Our kids were all spread out sitting on their buckets and spread out, and the team across the field, which will remain nameless, from South Arkansas, was all huddled up in a group together. And then, sure enough, I saw about 3 weeks later they were canceling because of COVID. Coach Wells got all his games in because of the way they maintain things. Coach Staller, Coach Williams are doing the same thing in basketball. So that is more important than winning and losing. Taking care of the kids.
Yes, you're right, Jim.
I think that overall, just the city of Harrison, from the school district, when we talked to Mayor Jackson and everybody, that everybody took COVID, and this is a good thing, took COVID a lot more seriously at the beginning than I did. Because I was among a lot of people that thought, okay, this is a couple of weeks, it's an annoyance, let's just get through this, I don't really care. And then, it just goes on and on and on and on. Well, people like you and people that were really in charge, thank goodness I wasn't in charge during all of this, really took it seriously and took the safety aspect of it. And I think Harrison overall has done very well of coming through that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the mayor would, I can't speak for him, but I think he would say that, and Vince Leese in the hospital's been very vocal, just cautioning people about loosening up too much. Let's not take things for granted. And I listen to them, and they know they have a pretty good pulse between the mayor, NARMC, and the chamber. All those people are good feedback systems for the school to make adjustments. And right now, it's not, don't let your foot off the gas pedal. Let's be real safe.
Yep. Hold it out and get through it this year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dr. Pratt, thank you as always for being with us. It's always good to talk with you.
Yeah, I love it. And Jim, it's good to have you with us. And
Maybe I'll just start being in every time you're in. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. It's Around the Table on the original KHOZ.